Kaufeee, Kaufeee, môre op hierdie pragtige Vrydag.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful Friday
Ja.
here in Namibia, in Windhoek, and the rest of the world. It's nice to have you with us.
'n Pragtige dag vandag. Julle kan
Yes.
sien ons het weer ons kort my hemde aan.
Well, I've still got this long sleevey thing on because I'm not quite there where I want to be
Nee,
in
it's
terms
fine.
of summer and winter.
Ek het ook so 'n baadjie aangehad vanoggend, maar ek
Right.
het hom maar uitgetrek en na een kant gesit.
Yes.
Is Vrydagoggend nou. Ons hoop nou ek het nou vandag seker gemaak dat ons oralster met ons nuwe batterye en nuwe kragkabels en al sulke tipe van goed. Want die afgelope week was dit nogal 'n lekker spelery. Môre almal, môre julle Vrystaaters, ek hoop julle is wakker. Ek hoop almal van julle is al daar,
Yes.
julle uit die Kaap uit. Julle daar uit en dan natuurlik Namibiërs.
Ja.
Jy weet hier bo na Tsumeb se wêreld toe. Julle kan gerus saam praat. Altyd lekker om van julle te hoor. Julle
And
is nie so stil te wees.
Of course, everyone from the coast.
Yes,
Karikis,
yes.
Karstens en Ansie.
Ansie Burger.
Op 'n gereelde basis hier so.
Ja.
Join op InfoStream. Dit is altyd lekker om julle te sien. Nice to have you with us.
Ek wil net vir Karretjies vanoggend so my eerste ding sê, baie dankie. Ek het vir Maya geskakel. Dis nou Maya Karstens.
Ja.
Sy is een van die jong dames wat deelneem aan die gaming kompetisie waar Namibië teen 4 ander internasionale lande deelneem. En sy bel my toe gister terug. Sy sê vir my: "Hallo oom Dirk." Ek sê: "Waar kom jy aan die oom?" Los dit. Ek sê: "Kan jy saam met ons kom gesels vanoggend?" En toe sê sy vir my: "Oom is oom hulle in Swakop."
Ja.
Toe sê ek: "Nog nie my kind." Maar langs die kort te maak, sy is in Swakop. Baie dankie dat jy teruggeskakel het. Ons sal tyd maak om met jou onderhoud te doen as ons daar is vir die Fish Eagle Rally. Sal ek van Walvis af ry of sy kom soontoe, dan gesels sy oor gaming. En dis nou rekenaar kompetisies.
Yes.
Ek het nie Afrikaans, mooi Afrikaans, gaming. Gaming is al wat ek kan sê op hierdie stadium.
Yes,
So.
because when it comes to gaming, and obviously Dirk and I are not gamers, so
Yeah.
we are novices when it comes to gaming, but I've got a friend whose sons are into gaming. It is fascinating how that technology has evolved.
Weet jy wie
Unbelievable.
'n ou baie naby aan ons speel teen sy seun
Ja.
en hulle is gereeld in kompetisies met mekaar en dis Olie Thompson. Nou Olie Thompson het al vir my gesê dat hy en sy seun is so kompeterend met mekaar.
Ja.
En as hulle begin gesels oor gaming en hoe dit opgestel word en die rekenaars wat gebruik word en hoe geweldig straf die kompetisie is met jou internasionale kompeteerders.
Yes.
Dis 'n wêreld op sigself. Maar ek het al gehoor dat daar baie groot pryse betrokke is.
Okay.
En as dit kom by wêreldborgskappe, is dit nog groter. Duisende rande en ek wonder en ek vra nou maar net of so iets dalk kan seker nie 'n Olimpiese spele sport word.
No, the thing is, these championships, they actually get held worldwide.
Ja.
And it then also depends on the physical game that you're playing, the actual game.
Yeah.
Because these competitions run, let's say you've got a competition for Grand Theft Auto, for
Yeah,
example, or some other Medal of Honor might be a game where. So it also depends on, in particular, the game.
En dan natuurlik die borgskappe wat dit al betref.
Yes, yes.
Ons het vandag het ons vir Nick Diener hierso.
Ja.
Hy is die head chef van Stellenbosch Tasting Room, dink ek. En ons gaan lekker gesels oor die humble eier. Joep Nel het vanoggend
egg.
vroeg. Ja, egg. Joep Nel het vanoggend vroeg 'n boodskapie gestuur toe sê ek is dan nou so lus vir so 'n gebakte eier en ek dink hy het gepraat van 'n paar worsies in 'n pan.
Ja.
En toe sê ek vir hom wel ons gesels vanoggend met Nick en hy gaan 'n bietjie vir ons net so sy opinie gee van iets so eenvoudig soos 'n eier. Jy weet dit is baie gesond. Ek dink dis iets wat 'n mens maar daagliks kan gebruik, maar baie keer as 'n mens sê wat wil ek nou vanoggend maak vir breakfast of 'n vinnige slaai, dan het ons net nie 'n idee nie. So Nick Diener het ingestem om by ons te kom kuier. Ons gaan nou vir hom hallo sê. Ons het wel gesê Chef Terry gaan ook hier wees, maar hulle het internasionale besoekers wat nou daar kom kuier. So, hoe lyk dit? Het ons al mense
We've
wat
got some
môre sê?
comments. I've
Ja,
got some
ons kyk
technical
gou.
error on my laptop, but
Dis reg.
we can still do this from the telephone.
Ja.
Joep Nel, hy sê, het julle eiers? Praat nou van breakfast eiers. Ja, ons het.
Joep, jy loop op dun ys vanoggend.
Ja.
Die antwoord is ja en ja.
En Maren Retief het ons ook gejoin hier, sy sê goeiemôre Dirkas en Kaufeee, mooi Vrydag en naweek.
Ja.
Perry Soden van Oblivion, if you buy your mattresses, go and buy them from Perry Soden from Oblivion. Hy sê goeiemôre van 'n lekker somers Vrydag.
Ja.
The temperatures are a bit up in Windhoek.
Ja.
It is a wonderful morning. And it's nice to have you guys all with us today here on InfoStream on Food Friday.
Dit is so. Kom ons vat gou advertensies en kyk ons na hooftrekke.
Yes.
Daar gaan ons. Daar's hy
We are
terug,
back.
daar's hy weer lekker plekke waar jy kan gaan kuier en naweek kan gaan eet en so meer.
Yes.
Ons het nie baie hooftrekke vandag nie. Wel, daar's baie in die koerante. Maar ons gaan nie veel praat oor dit nie. Die hele ding by Von Bagdam, die onwettige visvang, is alweer op die voorblad. Maar Kaufeee het nou goed gedink om vir Dirk te kry.
Yeah, Derek van der Merwe will be joining us on
Volgende
Tuesday,
week, yeah.
on Conservation Tuesday on InfoStream, because what the newspapers are reporting this morning, and here we have the Allgemeine Zeitung, the German daily, but I know that the Republican with Dirk also has this.
Ja, stories vanoggend op die voorblad.
Yeah, there's a huge poaching issue at the Von Bach Dam. And, you know, concentrating on, you know, rhino poaching and other wild game poaching in other areas of the country, we tend to forget about our local dams and the poaching that occurs at the local dams. Now, Derek van der Merwe, who is a big Von Bach enthusiast.
En hy's 'n ploteienaar daar
Yes.
by Von Bach self, ja.
He, together with the Namibian police, they are now really addressing this. And you can see on the pictures at on the newspaper this morning, on the front page, all the illegal nets that they are taking out at the Von Bach Dam. Truly a sad situation to see. And yeah, it seems as if it's busy getting addressed.
Weet jy Kaufeee wat vertel Dirk? Hy sê die ouens wat die nette gaan span. Hulle is nie goeie swemmers nie.
Right.
So hulle vat waterbottels of
Okay.
leë waterbottels, maak nie saak nie. Dan bind hulle dit om hulle lywe.
Right.
En dan gaan hulle in die water in die nag en dan swem hulle van die een kant swem hulle byvoorbeeld na die damwal toe.
Okay.
Dan span hulle daai nette.
Yes.
En nou daar is brandwagte, daar is ouens wat die dam dophou met verkykers, maar die probleem is in die nag, veral die nag, hier 2, 3 uur.
Ja.
Wat almal slaap. Dan gaan die ouens in die water en jy kan hom nie hoor swem nie. Hy het nou hierdie bottels vir die buoyancy om hom te laat dryf en dan swem hulle met die nette na die ander kant toe, dan maak hulle dit vas en dan môre dan trek hulle hierdie nette in. Maar ek moet dan sê, maar ek wil nie hy met self kom gesels. Hy sê dat die poging van hulle as eienaars wat hulle bote inspann en hulle help vir natuurbewaring
Yes.
is besig om vrug te werp.
Aha.
Met ander woorde, hulle wen nie die stryd teen onwettige visvang nie, maar hulle maak wel vordering.
Ja.
En onthou ons het nou lank met Mark Paxton gepraat oor die kavango.
Okay.
Die probleem met die kavango is dat krokodille versuip. Dit klink snaaks.
Ja.
Maar die nette om die bekke, seekoeie, klein bokkies wat kom water drink by die riviere.
Right.
Die voorlewe wat vasgevang word in daai en natuurlik die uitroei van die visspesies.
Ja.
Vals is sulke goed soos die Nemwe. En dan moet mense onthou in daai riviere kry ook tiervis. So daar's 'n klomp probleme met onwettige visvang. Ons praat heeltyd oor die honning, kos bewaar die rhinos, jy weet, rhino poaching, maar ons vergeet daar's ander goed wat ook onwettig gevang word. Selfs vetplante. Vetplante in Namibië wat absoluut 'n produk geword het wat mense steel en
Succulents.
verkoop. Ja, dis reg. Maar kom ons gesels volgende week weer daaroor met Dirk. Sal lekker wees om te hoor hoe hulle dit doen.
Yes.
Hier en daar is 'n klomp goed wat geskryf word oor myne wat besig is met ontginning in Namibië. Dis ewe skielik asof Namibië the place of choice, the country of choice for mining. En 'n klomp maatskappye is betrokke, maar hier en daar val die pap op die grond en een van hulle is byvoorbeeld daar by Rospina. En dit is 'n myn daarso, die Pina sinkmyn. Is daar donker wolke wat oor hom hang. Aangesien die eienaars van Trevali, ek dink is Trevali of Trevali Mining Corporation, het eers kop uitgetrek, van die ouens het bedank, en nou is daai hele mynbouproses so 'n bietjie in die skadu. So ons moet maar kyk wat gebeur met die aandele van Trevali en of die verdere ontwikkeling by Rospina.
Ja.
Dis goed vir ons ekonomie, maar is nie so goed as daar al klaar vrae is rondom die ontwikkelaars nie.
Sure, sure. What we've also got in the newspapers this morning, and this is a matter of concern in terms of the Namibian economy, and we do know that we are all still in a post-COVID situation in Namibia. I don't think Namibia's economy has recovered yet.
No.
It's still going to be quite a couple of long days, months, and possibly even years. But the insert in the Republican this morning, our colleagues from NMH are reporting that consecutive giant interest rate hike looming. And this is basically concerns the repo rates of the banks that are currently going up. And what the newspaper is reporting is that the households face a challenging environment as expensive living costs combined with tighter monetary policy during 2022 add to budgetary pressures. And we all are aware in terms of the economic pressures that are out there, households that are suffering, and of course our housing problem in Namibia.
Yeah.
This is not
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
on so many levels. But yeah, we've got to stay strong, Namibia, and we'll get through this.
Die ouens in die motorbedryf laat weet bietjie vir ons of die banke al vinniger transaksies goedkeur. Ons weet onlangs was daar nog probleme geweest dat ouens wat aansoek gedoen het vir motorfinansiering het gewag tot 'n maand tot 3 maande. Nou gewoonlik as jy gevra het vir motorfinansiering was dit goedgekeur in 2 of 3 weke maksimum.
Ja.
Terwyl van die motormaatskappye en motorfietsouens het gesê as jy nou gaan aansoek doen by 'n bank vir finansiering vir jou kar of vir jou motorfiets, vat dit 'n maand tot 2 tot 3 maande. En Kaufeee het al gewonder of dit nie te doen het met hierdie kosse die stygings
Yes.
van die oorhoofse kostes nie.
Ja.
Maar ek het nie die antwoorde daarvoor nie. Goeie nuus is Namibiese damme is tans 77% vol.
Oh, that's good news.
Dit is nog steeds droog. Dit is die tyd van die seisoen. Almal wag op goeie reëns, maar die goeie nuus is dat ons damme is 77% vol in Namibië. Wat wel belangrik is dat die regering sê daar moet 'n keerwal gebou word vir die waterpryse wat besig is om die hoogte in te skiet,
Ja.
Kaufeee. Maar dit gaan hier oor regmatige regulering van waterpryse. Jy weet, met ander woorde dat daar naas die prysindeks moet daar ten minste 'n tipe van 'n 10-punt plan wees en sê goed, ons gaan die prys laat opgaan, maar hier is die kriteria.
Ja.
Ons sê dit moet opgaan, hier is die redes.
Ja.
Een daarvan is volhoubare bediening van water. Met ander woorde,
Yes.
al is dit hoe droog, moet daar genoegsame water wees.
Yes.
Gegee dan die prys, so dis vraag en aanbod, jy ken dit ook.
The thing when it comes to water, you know, when we are paying for water, you know, are we in fact paying for the actual water, or are we in part paying for the delivery of the water to our business units, to
Yeah.
our homes, our premises, farms, plots,
Yeah.
all that? I mean, that all needs to be upkept.
Dis heeltemal reg en natuurlik die besproeiingsskemas wat ons altyd vergeet. Dis
Ja.
baie belangrik dat van die damme bedien plase. Daai plase is besproeiingsskemas waar ons ons kos vandaan kry.
Ja.
Dit is baie belangrik. So jy kan nog jou kommentare lewer tot en met die 30ste September is daar nog kommentare wat inkom rondom hierdie kwessie van hoe gaan ons pryse beheer as dit kom by die verskaffing van water. Nou ons het nou 'n paar goed genoem. Huis, besigheid.
Yep.
Nee, en ek dink aan besighede soos restaurante, haarkappers, karwasplekke en dan plase en besproeiingsskemas. So hierdie is nie 'n maklike een nie.
Ja.
Hierdie is nie 'n maklike een nie.
It'll also be interesting to see the next couple of years how the development in and around the Neckartal Dam is going to develop.
Ja.
It's nice to hear that these dams are at these capacities this time of the year because we're slowly but surely going into rainy season again.
Korrek, ja. Neckartaldam, almal het gesê wat 'n wit olifant. Dam vol water en nowhere to go. Jy weet, so dis een van die goed. Nog baie goeie nuus is dat in 2021 het Namibië sy volle kwota na Noorwe Noorwe uitgevoer en dis die vleis. So dis wonderlik, die beesvleiskwota.
Ja.
Is uitgevoer na Noorwe en dan ook selfs na sy buurman Botswana toe. So dis baie goeie nuus wat dit aanbetref.
So it's not such a loomy Friday anyway.
Nee, glad nie. Gepraat van Vrydag. Kom ons gaan vat gou 'n advertensie as julle vandag hier so lunchtyd.
Vintage Bar and Grill. The place that can properly fill your tummy. We have pub lunch specials every single Friday from 12 onwards. We have a full, battered game steak, liver mash and gravy, rump steak and draft, spare ribs and draft, mutton curry, meatballs mash and gravy, and many more. So come and join us for an awesome lunch experience. Vintage Bar and Grill. Always a good time.
Gaan hy.
And we're back.
Hier sit ons by ons op die bank
Yeah,
vandag.
we've got a brand new face on InfoStream on Fridays. Usually it's it's always Fridays. Our food
Food
Friday. Yeah,
Food Friday.
And
I like that.
Food Friday.
Ja, ons het Conservation Tuesday and Food Friday.
Yes. And we've got Nick Diener here from the Stellenbosch restaurant. Nice to have you with us, Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
And I trust that next time we'll be streaming directly from the Stellenbosch
Yeah,
restaurant
yeah,
when we
yeah,
talk to you.
It'd be good if we can make a plan around that.
Yes.
Ja, dis regtig 'n mooi plek. Nick, baie welkom.
Thank you.
In die eerste plek baie dankie vir Nick wat op 'n kort kennisgewing gesê het hy gaan by ons kom kuier. Ek moet hom sê vorige keer het ek vir hom gesê hoe lyk dit in die manne werk skofte. So dis nie altyd so maklik nie. Chef Terry vandag het baie belangrike buitelandse besoekers, Terry sterkte met dit, wat kom kyk na wat Silver Spoon Academy doen.
Yes.
Nou dis van die akademie, die ouens wat graag chefs wil word, na ons head chef. Nick, ek wil net gou vir jou vra ter wille van myself. Mens sien baie keer in kookprogramme en TV en so aan sien mens head chef. Wat beteken wat is 'n head chef en wat is 'n sous chef?
So when you start off in the career of being a chef, you come in as a commie. And commie is sort of your entry level chefs.
Yeah.
They're learning from the more experienced chefs.
Okay.
When you get a bit more experience, you can move into like a demi chef or a chef de partie. And they will now a bit more responsibility and moving a bit more forward. After that, you move up into your sous chef position.
Okay.
Sous chef is kind of like the 2IC.
Aha.
When the head chef or exec chef's not there, then they're kind of just assisting in his absence.
Right.
And then obviously the higher you go, the more responsibility. So the higher you go up, for instance, now you've got to do restaurant planning, menu planning,
Ek verstaan.
wastage control. So that's
Yeah.
where the higher you go up, the more you learn and the more responsibility you actually get.
But Nick, julle hoef nie elke jaar 'n eksamen te gaan skryf om jou titel as head chef te behou nie.
No, you don't.
Is it?
Also, what's very nice, what we do is we look at inside our company. We always look to promote within our company to bring guys up. So they will come as a cleaner maybe. And then they show a
yes.
bit of interest and then
Yes.
you give a bit more of a chance and then
Yeah.
we see they can do it, then we give them a chance in the kitchen. And I've got some very good members of my team that started off in the cleaning positions.
Yeah,
And they're now
yeah.
very, very important to my team.
Ja.
Ja.
Net vinnig Stellenbosch het begin as 'n klein restaurantjie.
Correct.
En ewe skielik het dit geweldig uitgebrei na ander fasette toe. Ons ek gaan nou nie Stellenbosch bemark nie, maar as head chef, hoeveel fasette is daar nou wat die setup aanbetref?
Well, we've got 3 restaurants.
Yeah.
We've got the Stellenbosch Tasting Room,
Yeah.
we've got Stellenbosch Wine Bar, and we've got
Okay.
the Stellenbosch Market, which is more like a bistro kind of coffee shop kind of.
Oh.
Yes, that is
okay,
there in that cornery area.
Correct.
It's all in that wonderful kind of Italian
Wat is daai-
style, Venetian style.
Wat is daai
courtyard.
sentrum se naam?
Bougainville.
It's at Bougainville in
Bougainville,
Kleinwindhoek, correct.
Goed, daar is dit soos jy nog nie daar was nie. Ons het vir chef Nick gevra, hy moet bietjie kom gesels vandag oor die humble eier. The humble egg. Wat ons baie keer daar op die rak sien lê in sulke pakkies, 6 in 'n pakkie, 'n groot boks. Dan party sê free range eggs, nou weet jy altyd wat dit beteken nie. Joep Nel het vanoggend gesê, "Hoe lus is ek nou vir 'n eiertjie en 'n worsie en ek dink seker 'n stukkie spek en 'n roosterbroodjie." So Nick, boonbehalwe jou kennis oor ander kosse. Ons weet dit is nou gaan nader aan vakansietyd. Kinders is by die huis. Ma moet vinnig kos maak. Ietsie moet gepak word vir die lang pad. Jy weet, miskien Kaap toe, kossie. Deel bietjie vanoggend met ons sommer net wat jy aan dink. Wat kan 'n mens met eiers maak?
What's your favorite egg dish?
Yeah, or dishes.
Look, a nice poached egg is always very nice. You can always do a nice soft poached egg, a bit of bacon, like I said, bacon, sausage, some tomatoes to give that a little bit of a cut.
Yes.
And something simple as that. I mean, eggs are super simple, but they're also very complex how you can cook them.
Okay.
So you could really go deep into, you know, different ways of cooking it. You can obviously do different cooking techniques. So you could do fried eggs.
Share that with us,
So-
because you're touching on something that I have walked into that hellfire several times. The different techniques. Ek ken net een gooi dit in kookwater. And please, share, let's talk a little bit about techniques.
So you've got your bog standard sort of fried egg. You know, you can do, you know, a bit of oil in the pan, a bit of seasoning, off you go. Onto some bread, some avocado, whatnot.
Okay, but may I stop you there?
Yes.
Because I'm now going to be pedantic. A bit of oil in the pan, put your egg in. Some people say take a wee bit of butter and then what kind of oil? Olive oil, coconut oil, vegetable oil, because some of them got an aftertaste. What would you say?
I would use always sort of sunflower oil.
Okay.
For
Okay.
me. Olive oil gets a bit of a funny taste if you cook it too much.
Yeah.
The butter is good in sort of for omelets and those things.
Okay.
Just to add a bit of that butteriness to it. But a fried egg, you don't really want it to stick to the pan. A little bit of oil. You can add some butter. You can use some spray and cook.
Okay.
So whatever's easiest. Low heat. Get that egg in there nicely. Let it cook up. There's tricks where you drop water in and put a lid on top to get it cooked through. You can turn the egg over. You can make it how you want. Soft, hard, whatever you'd like.
Yes.
If you're in a bit of a hurry, you don't really want to take the time to maintain that egg, scramble it up, drop it in a pan, a little bit of cream or milk in there, scramble up, lift it up, get it nice and fluffy.
Yes.
On some toast. You can also add, if you want to add a bit more of a healthy aspect to it, you could take some cottage cheese and you can mix it through.
But after you've baked
Once
the
the eggs are almost done, so when you cook a scrambled egg, the pan keeps heat.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you cook it to say 80%. Remove it from the heat, and the heat will continue to cook.
Of course.
So
of course.
what many people do is they cook it to the point where it's perfect. They put the pan next to the stove, get their toast ready, butter their toast, turn around, and it's overcooked.
You see.
Oh,
let's
okay.
dry the eggs out.
Okay, ja. Ons vergeet dit.
And that's
Die kookproses gaan mos aan.
Yeah, that's also the thing. You know, I'm sure if I ask you this question, you're going to say gas. But you know, do you prefer cooking on an electric stove or rather on gas? And I think most chefs would say we prefer gas, and the reason
Because
for that
it's
because
instant.
if you turn it off, it's off,
Ja.
That's it.
and then only the heat of the pan or the pot continues with the food.
It's also instant delivery of heat.
Of
you don't
heat.
have to wait for it to heat up.
Ja.
It's
Yes.
on
Ja.
and go.
Ja.
Ja.
Joep nou gebruik natuurlik sy preferred way is kolle in die bos. I want to come back to you, Nick, about this. And sorry for, you know, I said prepare some nice salad. We'll get to the salad just now. Hoekom sukkel ek as ek nou daai eier gebreek het en ek gooi hom in die pan? Hoekom hardloop daai eier die hele pan vol en ek sukkel om hom bymekaar te kry? What am I doing wrong?
It's purely down to how old the egg is. If the egg is fresh,
Ja?
it'll
Yeah.
keep its shape.
Okay.
But if the egg's a couple of days old, nothing wrong with it. You can eat it, but it will just run.
So that egg white just spread.
Yeah.
Want ek het nou eendag by 'n kampplek toe kry ek soeke ronde ringetjies.
Yes.
Wat ek nou so in die pan sit, dit lyk nou baie smart Kaufee. Dan sit ek en breek ek die eiertjie binne in dit. Jy weet, so nou voel ek al beter want ek het nooit nie meer mense vir scramble
Nice, like a little one slice meal,
so klein dingetjie. Goed, kom ons praat nog oor eiers. En kooktegnieke soos gekookte eiers en so meer.
So
yeah.
we touched on scrambled eggs, we
Yes.
touched on fried eggs,
Yeah.
and then if you want to go really healthy, you can go into poached eggs. So poached eggs gets a bit more interesting. You have your sort of a rolling boil, not a big boil, just sort of a ticking over boil,
Ja,
and you add vinegar to the water.
ja.
Yes.
So what the vinegar does is actually the protein, it actually sets the protein. So you get this sort of a gentle boil, like a little tick over,
Yeah.
and you make a little whirlpool in the middle with a whisk.
Yeah.
You just make a little whirlpool, and you drop that egg in the middle.
Ja.
Okay.
And what happens is that movement actually causes the egg to form almost like a little rugby ball shape,
Okay,
and
okay.
that you cook in the water. So you've got no fat going into the dish.
Ja.
You can cook it how you want it, soft, medium, hard. And when you're done, you can use it on, you know, sort of bacon and eggs. You can do it on a nice salad. There's many classic dishes like the Caesar salad, where it uses poached eggs.
Yes, yes.
Ek dink nie ek
I
het dit
love
al-
Caesar
Ek dink nie ek het
salads.
dit al gehad nie.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm sure that I think you guys have got it on the menu.
We've got a variation of it, yes.
Yeah, so if you ever go to Stellenbosch, the Stellenbosch restaurant at Bougainvillas in Kleinwindhoek, go and order yourself the Caesar salad. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Maar ek
Fantastic.
wil nog weet, nou het jy daai eier binne in kookwater.
Yes.
Jy het gepraat van 'n bietjie asyn vinegar ingooi. Hoeveel is dit 'n lepel? Is dit 'n opskeplepel, teelepel? Hoeveel sit jy in?
So the best way I judge it is we have the water and then we add the vinegar to it.
Yeah.
And then I just take a little bit with the teaspoon and taste it. And if I get the faint vinegar taste to it, then that means it's right.
Okay, so you-
if it's too strong, it's going to transfer the flavor into the egg and you get vinegary
okay.
eggs.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright. Ek het al gesien mense het so 'n snaakse klein gadget. Vat hulle die eier en as ek het eendag gaan kyk en dit lyk of hy 'n klein pin het, soos 'n klein speltjie. En dan maak hulle 'n gaatjie bo. En wat is dit?
There could be many reasons for it. There's many sort of old wives' tricks and these things that
Yeah.
you do. Yeah, it could be for anything.
Is dit? Want ek het gewonder of dit is dat die eier nie breek as hy kook nie, dat hy nie oopbars nie, jy weet.
Look, if you make a hole in the egg, it's going to leak out.
Yeah.
So if you crack it slightly when you boil it, it's still going to leak out.
Okay.
I know with the Germans when they make their Easter Christmas trees
Yes.
or Easter trees,
Yeah.
they make a hole and they make a hole at the bottom and they actually blow the egg out,
Correct.
dry it out, and they paint it for like a decoration.
Wat?
Yeah, the shell.
Dis
You can do
interessant.
it with ostrich eggs as well.
Dis
I did it with
interessant.
a ostrich egg in a drill.
Oh, really?
Regtig, ja.
It's scrambled eggs with ostrich.
So you can blow your own eggs.
Ja, koffie, ja. Ons het jy ons comments, het ons comments daar.
The comments are coming through. It's nice to have everybody on the show with us. Piri Soden has joined us, Maren Retief, also Jupnel. Sean Fallis is watching us, Nemesis Vulcan and Junice Engels.
Nemesis baie dankie. Hulle is baie spesiaal.
Ja.
Ons gaan baie dankie vir hulle bydrae en welkom vir julle vandag.
And then from the coast, we've got Charmaine Lowe and also Ansie Burger is watching. Sy sê môre uit 'n heerlike visvang tipe weer. Groete vanaf die kus. Dankie vir jou gereelde bydrae, Ansie. Tia Skutte sê hallo julle
Môre,
ouetjies.
Tia.
Lisel Kotse is op. Monique Bubbles van Wyk.
Hey, Bubbles.
Yes.
Dit maak ons Vrydag 'n twee dae, daar's 'n klomp nuwelinge. Nemesis
Ja.
is nuut.
Ja.
Tia, baie geluk dat jy uiteindelik sy stuur baie keer Facebook boodskapies.
Ah.
Maar sy het haarself so ver gekry om vanoggend vir ons te kyk. So baie welkom Tia, jy kan ook vir ons jou boodskapies stuur vir die dag of vra terwyl ons vir Nick Diener Head Chef Nick Diener vandag hier by ons het. Ons gesels sommer net oor die gebruik van eiers. Soos julle iets het sien. Hey,
So
Joep,
Bubbles sê ek voel ook soms soos 'n vetplant. Probleem is ek kan nou net nie verkoop word nie. Ai ou Bubbles, hoe sal ons jou dan wil verkoop? Nemesis sê baie dankie, goeie paar wenke.
nog 'n dingetjie wat ek wou vra. So Joep het nie vir ons resep gestuur nie.
Nee, op die oomblik ek dink Joep kyk nou wat Nick vir ons kan sê and then at the end of the show Joep always tries to top it up.
Okay. Like a challenge.
Ek wil terugkom na die hele kwessie van eiers toe. Want dit is my fascinating. Jy weet daar's 'n paar eenvoudige resepte wat ek graag wil probeer. Maar ek is doeteenvoudig te bang. Nou ek gaan nie die wind uit jou seil uitvat nie, maar ek gaan byvoorbeeld nou net vir jou 'n voorbeeld gee. Daar's mense sien dit baie keer op YouTube. Ouens vat so 'n stukkie brood, maar ek weet nie hoe dik nie. Dan vat hulle dit lyk soos die goedjies wat jy koekies mee sny. En maak hulle 'n gat in die middel, dan haal hulle die brood uit.
Ja.
En dan maar die brood is nou in 'n pan. En ek verstaan nie hoe nie. Ek bedoel nie sit nie. Is daar olie in, is daar botter in, is hy klaar gaar aan albei kante. Dan maak hulle 'n gaatjie, dan sit hulle die eier daar binne in. Nou help 'n bietjie vir my. Praat met deur die proses. Moet die pan warm wees, moet daar olie wees, moet daar botter wees, hoe dik moet die brood wees, moet hy gedraai word? En dan kom die eier in, hoe lank is die eier daarin? Moet daar peper en sout opgooi? Help my tog net asseblief. Nick, help
Let's
my.
do our best.
Okay.
So obviously the pan mustn't be ice cold. It must be sort of not piping hot. So
Yeah.
it's you add your oil. It's just got to sort of move a bit and start getting
Okay.
a bit liquid.
Okay.
The egg, the bread, they're probably doing like sort of a toads on the whole kind of a dish. It's
Yes,
it's
yes.
sort of a British throwback.
Okay.
So it also kind of also plays into the eyes of French toast. Where French toast, you take your scrambled eggs, You put your bread into it so it absorbs the egg itself, and then into the pan. A little bit of oil and then a little bit of butter. Just a small touch of butter, just to get that nuttiness to come through, the color to come through. Cook it finish on one side, and then sort of just flip it over. And then that makes it nice and fluffy as well. So when you're cooking certain dishes like scrambled eggs and whatnot, you want to incorporate the air, so it's a raising agent.
Yes.
That'll give you the nice fluffiness.
Okay. So dit is eintlik relatief maklik.
Ja.
Nog steeds by brood en nog steeds by eiers. Ek persoonlik hou van breinbrood of volgraanbrood. Maar nou het ek ook al letterlik ervaar witbrood werk goed, breinbrood werk goed, maar die oomblik as jy na health bread toe gaan, wat groot stukkies neute in het en so meer, die oomblik as hy met hitte in verbinding kom soos 'n pan, dan is dit geneig om te breek. Is daar 'n rede vir, is maar net die...
It comes down to sort of the health breads. They use sort of different ingredients when making the bread.
Okay.
Maybe a little less of this, a little more of that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, I've always grew up brown bread, white bread. That's kind of how I've always gone. I prefer the brown bread. It's more healthy for me. But obviously a seed loaf, that is much more healthier.
Okay.
So if that's available, it's a good choice.
Yeah. I'd like to talk about another egg dish that I absolutely love, but I just haven't been able to do it myself. I haven't even tried. Okay, but I've when we talk about eggs Benedict, what is eggs Benedict?
So
asseblief.
Eggs Benedict is again one of the staples. It's sort of every chef can make one. There's different variations again.
Right.
Yeah.
So you get an English muffin, which is a certain kind of little pastry or bread pastry you can get made.
Okay.
You can buy them at the shops, but you can get local suppliers who do make this as well. There's some really good guys doing local products. Again, it's a little bit of hollandaise.
Okay.
So hollandaise again is now eggs being used in a different manner. It's being made into a egg-based sauce.
Aha.
So what you would do is you take a double boiler, so a pot of water, put your mixing bowl on top.
Yes.
Add your egg yolks to that.
Okay.
The egg yolks only, and a little bit of white wine vinegar or a little bit of wine.
Right.
And you whisk that up over heat. So what happens then is you make a sabayon.
Ah, okay.
So sabayon, you get also different variations. You can use it as an egg dessert as well with champagne. You can do that. But you make like an egg custard kind of base.
But it's not sweet. It's more type of a...
It's savory, yes.
Yeah.
So so for the savory version, you use vinegar or wine with a bit of salt, pepper. If you're doing the dessert version, you can do like a champagne sauce, where it's again, but you use champagne and you use some sugar. For the Benedict, let's get back to that. You get that heated up, so it forms a nice fluffiness.
Yes.
The biggest trick that I've learned is if you pick up your whisk and you go like a W, and the W forms, and you can see the W, it's the right. It's ready to go.
Oh, there you go.
So that's a nice little tip and trick that I use still to this day.
Yeah.
Before you do all that, you've melted some butter. Straight away, you can do clarified butter, but I'll just use straight butter, just melt it nice and soft. Not too hot, not too cold. If it's too hot, it will split. If it's too cold, it will solidify, and you're not going to get a nice, fluffy, voluptuous sauce.
Yes.
Then you poach your eggs. So we spoke about that. The water, adding the eggs to it.
But poaching an egg is you put it into a plastic bag, is that correct?
No. So there's many tricks as well.
Yeah.
You get little cups you can put them in. You get the bag you can do it in.
I see.
In a spoon.
Okay.
But the traditional way is the water with the vinegar, make a whirlpool, drop your egg in. When you get very good, you can do 4 or 5 at the same time. So you kind of just time the egg. As it comes past, you drop your friend in, and then it keeps going around. So then eventually you have all the eggs going.
Vir omtrent hoe lank in daai kookwater?
Look, you're going to do a slow rolling boil.
Yeah.
So you're not doing this intense heat. You can poach your egg for 2 minutes to 5 minutes. Depends how you want it cooked.
So one is going to be a little bit more runny, the other one is going to be sort of more
That's it.
solid.
Also depends on the size of the egg. You get small eggs to the extra large eggs.
So when you do the little whirl there, you whirl it all up and then you put the egg in and then you just leave it. You don't continue whirling.
No, you don't. You want to leave the egg just to kind of form the vinegar to act, so that it forms the outer layer.
Yes.
And then it lets start cooking inside.
We're going
Dit
to do this on Sunday.
Jy sien, ek sê mos vir jou, jy weet 'n humble egg.
Ja.
Jy weet ons en so dit is net ongelooflik. Yes, okay, jy's nou nog besig met daai.
Take a spoon with little holes in it, lift the egg out, paper towel, just hold it against it so the water that's on the egg just can run off.
Ja.
Yes.
And then you put on top of your English muffin, You cover that with your hollandaise, which we made previously, and there you go.
En jy kan nou daar maar nog kasie op drizzle, 'n bietjie swart peper as jy wil.
You can go crazy. You can do eggs Neptune with smoked salmon.
Yeah.
You can do Florentine with a bit of spinach, some gypsy ham. You can do avocado. You can take your English muffin. You can take some white cheddar. You can gratinate that, melt it over it, and add to it. You can really go crazy.
Well, there you have it.
Ja, dis ongelooflik. Ons gaan
Chef Nick.
Ja, Nick, baie dankie. Ons is nog nie klaar met jou nie. Ons het gister so vinnig net 'n besoeker gehad van Kampvrede, maar moenie weggaan nie. Ons gaan nog praat en dan gaan ons nog 'n bietjie resepte kyk. Kom ons kyk gou-gou net. Ons het even Blommie gehad gister wat gepraat het oor Kampvrede. Dit lyk nou 'n lekker plek. Terug by Nick Diener Head Chef by Stellenbosch Tasting Room. Ons praat oor supply. En suppliers, veral bakkerye. En nou ja, ek sit hier met 'n drukstuk in my hand van ons baie bekende woerman in Brok. Ek moet sê partykeer raak ek so lus vir kos dat ek lees nie eers altyd die inligting hier nie. Maar ek het al baie gewonder of daar nie spesifieke plekke is wat julle as chefs verkies om by inkopies te doen nie. Ek bedoel Woerman Brok is ons eie Namibies, Namibies, Kaufeee as ek reg het.
Ja.
Jy weet en hulle het wonderlike produkte op hulle rakke.
Yeah, but let's Woerman Brok being one, a supermarket is more in terms of, I guess, the end user retail FMCG kind of environment.
Yeah.
Where, and you can help me right here, where probably hotels, restaurants, lodges, they would probably go and purchase from wholesalers. They would, let's say, go to a meat co, for example.
That's correct. Yes,
Ja.
Dis waar, ek het nie so daaraan gedink nie. Kaffie is heeltemal reg. En maak hulle eie gebak. Hoekom sal hulle gaan croissants koop as hulle self maak? Nick, hoe doen julle?
Well, we obviously support local. It's very important to support local because
Yes.
that's the way of the future.
Yeah.
So we're buying our meat from Beef Core, very good quality beef.
Yes.
Nice local, Okahanya, it's really good. Yes, restaurants and hotels do buy in from sort of a bulk supplier.
Yeah.
But there are some people that, you support the smaller guys. I've got a very good guy who does my cheese, my Italian style cheese.
Oh, right. Now we're
Rarig.
talking
So
about
I get
specialities.
some
Rarig,
specialty
rarig.
items you
Okay,
can't always get from your big suppliers.
Yeah.
Yes. You've got to go to someone more specific.
Yeah.
And that's the trick. And as a chef, you need to figure out where these guys are.
Yeah.
And then through networking, you figure out, okay, this guy does this or this guy does that. So it's sometimes very important to look.
It was actually so funny. Once I was in Oshakati, in quite a famous, let's say, guest house in Oshakati. And I was in Oshakati and I looked at the menu and it said catch of the day. Now,
By die krokodil-
if
by die
you are in
krokodilplaas.
Spokop or Walvis Bay and you see catch of the day, you kind of, okay, there's the ocean,
Yeah.
here's the catch of the day. Unless that famous guest house has got a very good logistics company.
FJ, of hulle kry dit van die krokodilplaas af.
If you go, for example, to Hubabus and you would have steak of the day, now that
Ja,
would
dit
make sense.
maak sin nie. Ja. Ja. Nie terug by julle kosse. 'n Ding wat my ook interesseer, ons praat nou vandag oor the humble egg. En die eier wat mense eintlik miskyk. Want ek wil nog steeds by jou gunsteling slaai resep uitkom. Maar as jy nou so vinnig na eiers kyk en ek praat van eiers op rakke. Dit het al met my gebeur dat dan staan ek by die eierrak. Dit is ons eie verskaffer van eiers hier so in Windhoek. En dan dink ek, is die eiers vars? Hoe weet 'n ou daar staan miskien iets gedruk op die pakkie? Maar as jy hom nou uithaal, hoe kan 'n mens bepaal of 'n eier vars is as jy hom gebruik?
So we obviously they will date all their boxes. Nowadays,
Yeah.
everything is dated and processed. So you look at the date on the box, when was it packed, and so forth and so on. That's still not a perfect way to find
Ja,
out.
want jy weet nie hoe lank daai eier al gelê was voordat hom in die boks gesit het.
Exactly.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you can't really do this test in the shop, but there is a test with water where you sort of
Okay.
take a glass, you drop the egg in, and depending if it
Die
floats
rou
or
eier.
sinks,
Die
raw egg,
ja?
just out of the box, where it depends if it floats or sinks. That gives you the indication.
Which one
Whether
is
it's
which?
rotten or not.
Yes, I think the one if it drops, it's rotten. So
As hy swaar is, dan hy
yeah.
sak tot
So
onder.
then if it goes up, then it's good.
Okay, so is eintlik 'n relatief eenvoudige toets wat 'n mens
Ja.
kan doen.
Or alternatively, if you do break it open on the pan, you're seriously going to smell it.
Nee, ek bedoel dit is so. Jy weet daar's niks so erg soos 'n eier wat vrot is.
Well, and in the big hotels, when you've got a breakfast where you're cracking, 30, 40 trays of eggs for breakfast the next morning,
Sure.
you learn a system where you crack 6 eggs into a bowl, you check that they are good, because the last thing you do after cracking 400 eggs is one frot egg goes in there, it's done. You throw the whole batch away.
Want jy praat nou eintlik iets wat baie interessant is. Ek het nou al gesien by hotelle waar 'n mens tuis gaan. Daai chef, ek kan vat dit is 'n chef wat daar staan. Die eiers lê hier eenkant en hulle vra wat wil jy? Byvoorbeeld ek wil graag 'n omelet hê. En met baie swaaf en eintlik baie goed partykeer word daai eier met een hand oopgemaak. Jy weet, eenkant gesit, die tweede een, die derde een en die vierde een, dan kom die spatula by en dan begin die proses. Daai ou kyk in my oë en hy vra vir my, "Hoe was my aanslag?" Hy kyk nie eens vir daai eier wat hy daar oopmaak nie. Dis nog 'n ding oor eiers. Hoe kry die ouens dit reg om hom in die hand te vat, te crack en op die plaat te sit en daar's nie eierdop in nie.
Technique.
Regtig.
Technique.
Yeah.
You can grip with the 4 fingers, and you can grip with the back fingers. You can hold 2.
Ja?
Crack it, pop it, drop it, and then you can go up again with the egg on the next one.
Daar's hy.
There you go.
Dis 'n lekker een. Wat sê die
Another tip
wat
from
sê die
Chef
boek?
Nick.
Ja, wat sê
Here
die
comes a
boek?
cool question.
Ja.
Joep Nel asked, oh well, he says other way around, maar as jy nie bad lê. By all means. Yeah, we get it. But Lizelle Kotz is asking, wat is die beste eiers in die yskas hou of buite?
Ook 'n goeie een.
Because
That's
we've
a
had
very good
family
question.
arguments
That's a
regarding this.
very good question. Nick,
Ja.
wat sê jy?
It's personal preference, but I would say out of the fridge, in a cool, dry place. Especially when you're baking with things. If you're making sort of like meringues, or even if just the fried egg, it's all about the temperature of the egg.
Yeah.
So if you've got a very cold egg, then it might not perform. It performs differently to a room
The
temperature.
room
egg.
temperature.
Ja.
So you are saying not in the fridge?
I keep my eggs outside.
Okay.
Okay, you got boiled eggs. You've done them. You boiled them.
Ja.
En nou vroeër jare my liefste ma het ek weet nie met julle familie nie, dit so gegaan. Ons gaan nou Kaap toe ry. Nou daar kom worsies in, daar kom frikadelle in, daar kom broodjies in, daar kom definitief gekookte eiers in 'n koekbak. So 'n koekblik kom nou daarin. Nou pikkel ons af Kaap toe. Nou môreoggend is ek lus vir 'n snackie en ek maak daai koekblik oop en daar's nog gekookte eiers. Hoe lank hou daai gekookte eiers voordat hy nou afgaan?
You can keep a boiled egg for 2 to 3 days.
Regtig?
If it's in a cool place, like I said, you can keep it, especially when it's cooked. If you keep it in the fridge or a little ice box, you can keep it for 2 to 3 days.
Nou dit bring my by die vraag en dit was wat ek vir jou gevra het in terme van voorbereiding. Ma is haastig, sy moet 'n lekker slaai maak. En terwyl sy die eiers kook, dink sy ook aan môre of oormôre. Ek's besig om die eiers te kook. Kom ek maak gou 'n lekker slaai of 'n snack vir die kinders en dan kan hulle sommer nog môre is daar gekookte eiers wat hulle met 'n stukkie koue vleis of iets op 'n broodjie kan eet môre middag. Deel met ons 'n lekker slaai of 'n lekker gereg wat bekostigbaar is en wat hou, wat 'n mens nog weer kan gebruik vir die volgende dag of 2.
You can do egg mayonnaise sandwiches, for instance.
Ja.
Nice egg
yeah.
mayonnaise sandwich, maybe a bit of bacon there, maybe some ham. That is one option, sort of a very cost-effective way of utilizing it. If you've got some leftover eggs, you could do a very nice salad you could do is a niçoise salad. So a niçoise salad is
Niçoise.
Okay.
so potatoes, tomatoes, green beans, a
Yes.
little bit of olives, boiled eggs, lettuce,
Right.
and then depending how fancy you want to go. If you want to go super fancy, nice fresh tuna. So you can bring a nice seafood element into it.
Yeah.
If you don't really have fresh tuna, you could use tin tuna as sort of a house-made.
Yes.
At
But
restaurants, we do
tin
try.
tuna with oil or with the salt, the
Brine.
pickled?
I prefer the
Right.
brine.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a bit healthier.
Dis waar. Ja, en die olie kan dalk 'n bietjie van 'n nasmaak gee.
That's
Nee,
also
ek
the
moet
thing,
sê dis ook waar nie.
Ja.
Ja,
Ja.
heeltemal goed.
An interesting thing, Tia Skutte is saying she's just Googled it. Sy het dit gou gegoogel, net om alles reg te stel. Baie dankie vir jou hulp daarso, Tia. Sy sê die vars eiers sal sink in die water en die vrot ene sal dryf.
we go.
And
Okay,
the
dankie,
reason
Tia.
why is
Dankie, Tia.
because old eggs will float because of a large pocket of air that forms in the base.
Daar, dit is dit. Baie dankie.
Dankie,
Tia.
dankie.
Daar
Thank
is
you.
dit. Dis hoekom
Thanks, Tia.
hoekom julle bydrae vir ons so belangrik is. Almal wat vir ons saam
Yes.
chat. Ja.
And on that basis, I'd just like to clarify this for all of us so that the argument never comes up
Okay, again.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? And Google says,
Wat sê Google?
right, back to our original question, with amniotic eggs showing up roughly 340 million years ago,
Net voor my
or so,
geboorte.
give or take a weekend, and the first chickens evolving at around 58,000 years ago.
Ja?
At the earliest, it is safe to say that the egg came first. Eggs were around way before chickens even existed. So there you have it on this Friday.
Dis klaar. Ons het daai
Klaar
klaar
gepraat.
gemaak. Ons het daai klaar gemaak.
Let's put this to rest.
Ja, maar weet jy Nick, ons het nou ons met daai slaai van jou. Ek wil net gou weer die ingredients van jou slaai. Sy naam is
So it's a Niswa salad.
Nishwa. Het julle dit? Nishwa. Want ek gaan vir Nick vra om vir my dit te WhatsApp. Dan gaan ons dit op Facebook plaas. Nishwa salad. Goed.
Yes.
Ingredients kos gaan weer deur dit.
So green beans,
Ja?
tomatoes,
Ja.
baked potatoes.
Green beans rou of moet hulle bietjie in 'n
all
pan
sort of blanched, just
blanched,
cooked,
okay?
you know,
Yeah.
Boiling water, take it out into ice bath. So you're cooking it, but you stop the cooking process.
Okay.
Again, the cooking process is stopped.
Alright.
So it doesn't keep overcooking and you get overcooked.
So is nog bietjie crunchy.
A little bit of a bite to it, yeah.
Okay.
Nice al dente veg.
Okay?
So you got your green beans, you got your tomatoes, you got your potatoes.
Ja.
Pop some olives in there.
Ja.
Sort of take your Kalamata is my favorite. So it's got the nice. It's not bitter. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it.
Bietjies ja, ja.
That's it, yeah.
Maar het nie meer 'n pit in nie.
Exactly. You can take. It's easier to get the pips out of those.
Okay,
Because you can just
okay.
pop them out with the hand. You just give it a squeeze, and the little seed will pop out. Nothing
Alright.
worse than enjoying a nice pizza or salad and then you bite into a pip.
Nou verloor jy
It
vol
can,
staan.
it can ruin your day.
Ja, ek dink ja.
And then, like I said, then a bit of boiled eggs.
Yeah.
So you could do sort of sliced up, quarters, whatever you like. And then lettuce and some nice tuna. So you can go fresh tuna or you can go tin tuna.
Vraag altyd is, wat gebruik jy? Wat se seasoning gebruik jy? Om bietjie sout, bietjie peper, of is daar 'n slaai
Good old
sous?
salt and pepper.
Wat sou jy sê?
Salt and pepper. Have a simple salt and pepper.
Kaffee, ek sien 'n groot sout ou nie. Dis hoekom ek maar net vra. Jy weet daar alternatiewe vir ouens wat is dieselfde met wat is beter, unsalted butter of salted butter?
Unsalted.
Salted.
Unsalted. Because you can control the salt going into
Yeah,
the dish there.
yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're baking a cake and you want to add
Yes.
salt and you add salted
Yeah.
butter,
Then-
you've got no control of how much salt's going into it.
There you have it.
Insiggewend, baie
Didn't
insiggewend.
think of that.
Weet jy ek het met 'n guide vroeër jare Elias Kaufeee. Ons het 'n toergroep gehad van die buiteland en ons is in Sossusvlei. En hy kyk die een ou so wat net sout gooi in sy kos. En nou Elias sit en hy skud sy kop en ek sê vir hom Elias, wat's fout? Hy sê meneer, daai man, hy kan nie daai sout uithaal by daai kos nie. Maar jy as jy eet, jy wil bietjie sout hê, jy gooi bietjie sout. Daai man, hy kan nie die sout uithaal nie. En wat ek aanvaar is dat voordat jy net sout en peper gooi, behalwe soos julle chefs wat nou presies weet wat die berekende mate is. Soveel sout, soveel. Ek is selfs 'n koffie bang om sout net oor my steak te gooi.
Ja.
Nie bang nie, maar net versigtig dat jy dit oordoen.
I'll tell you a nice hard-boiled egg with a little bit of aromat.
Dis baie waar. Dis baie waar. Maar nou gaan jy nou weer die gesondheids die junkies kry wat sê aromat is nie gesond nie. Wat sê jy?
Well, aromat comprises of MSG.
Ja.
So, and they've actually now disproven the whole case of MSG is not it's not actually bad for you anymore.
Regtig. Daar's hy.
And for years and years we've been,
Wat sê julle
we've
by die
been
huis?
avoiding aromats
What's
and
it-
stuff like
It's sort of you get the allergy affecting things.
Yeah.
So wheat allergies and whatnot. And MSG has been taken off.
Oh, het
So
julle iets?
monosodium glutamate is not harmful to
Daar
you
het
anymore.
ons dit. Okay, nou wat dink julle by die huis? Ek het 'n ander plan met Nick. So jy sê ekskuus gou by daai slaai want ek wil net dit afrond. So as jy hom nou klaar gemaak het en jy meng hom met jou hande, sou jy sê die bietjie spices is na jou eie smaak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We always, when we were training, we were always taught to cook. If I like a lot of garlic, it's not going to work for perhaps you.
Yeah.
So you cook for the customer.
Yeah.
So you add enough salt, but not too much.
Okay.
The problem is when customers come in and they get their plate of food, before they do anything, they pop the salt and pepper over it. And then they say it's too salty.
Okay.
Because we do our best to keep it perfectly seasoned.
Meneer Kaufman hou van sy chilletjies. Hoe
yes.
gaan 'n klein chilletjie in daai slaai wees? Want ek kan my mond water terwyl jy nou vir my dit vertel, maar nou dink ek wat van so effe
Oh, chiliki.
Chiliki.
Well,
Humble
I
chiliki.
guess it depends who likes chilies, because it's basically the capsaicin, isn't it?
Personal taste. Yeah.
Personal taste.
I mean, if you do a salad and you want to add garlic to it, instead
Right.
of adding garlic to itself,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you take a garlic clove and you rub it on the inside of the bowl, so you get the flavor of the garlic coming in, but it's not that
ek het
harshness.
dit ook nie besef nie. Ek het nie besef dat jy garlic flavour kan kry deur dood eenvoudig die garlic
So sort
cloves
of a
te.
confusion, sort of the.
You see, that is
Maar
why.
Nick, waar
That's why
was jy?
educated
Waar
people like
was
Nick.
jy gaan vir ons kom kuier. Ek is so bly ons het vir Nick Diener vandag hier by my terwyl Kaufee daar gaan kyk na nog boodskappe. Het ek 'n ander idee. Ek dink ons moet een van ons en ek sê nou maar net ek gebruik dit as 'n voorbeeld. Ouens kry ons kyk ons het nou pragtige kommentaar hier gekry.
Yes.
Kaufee. En ek kyk nou net na hierdie vleis.
Lizelle says salt is not the enemy.
Ja, dis 'n rooi wyn. Of whisky. Ek moet leer om saam met goeie vleis en goeie vis en goeie hoender nie 'n whisky te drink nie, maar eerder 'n goeie wyn.
Ja.
Dis ons volgende gesprekpunt gaan wees. Wat drink jy of eet jy saam met wat? Ek wil dit so graag leer.
Well, we can go to Nick. We can go
Ek
to
dink
the
vir 'n
Stellenbosch
food-
and go and do a
Ordentlike food pairing, food and wine
stream
pairing.
directly
Ja.
from the Stellenbosch, and then we can talk about
Ja,
that.
ek het nou nog 'n idee vir ons kykers. InfoStream begin met 'n kompetisie. Ons het 2 chefs.
Yes.
Wat hulle gaan die judges wees. Ons vra vir die 2 onderskeie chefs vir hulle plekke om miskien van hulle kombuise gebruik te maak. En as chef Terry vanoggend kyk, ons het al die gesprek met hom gehad en hy het gesê verseker kan ons 'n plannetjie maak. So die semis is by die een plek en die finale is by 'n ander. Julle as ons kykers en mense wat kommentaar stuur, gaan dan inskryf om deel te neem aan 'n kompetisie. Wat ons dan doen is een van ons plaaslike verskaffers en ek net omdat ek hierdie drukstuk hier by my het van 'n Woerman Brok, sê ons dat alles moet by daardie spesifieke
Woerman en Brok.
Woerman en Brok gekoop word.
Ja.
Met ander woorde, julle vleis en of vis word daar gekoop. Enerzijds omdat dit net regverdig is.
Yes, very fair.
Ja, dit is van een plek en anderzijds dink ek gaan dit oor die een hand was die ander een.
Is it the InfoStream Chef Cook-Off?
Ek dink ons gaan dit so noem en ons gaan dit doen voor die einde van die jaar.
Yeah. We'll find the necessary sponsors.
People's favorites. People's favorites. Ons mense wat deelneem en of julle vriendinne.
Yes.
Want julle sal moet inskryf. Ons gaan nog die regulaar. Wat dink julle daarvan? Wat dink julle van so lekker koek of Nick? Wat ons nou ons kykers, jy kan nou sien hoe kom die kommentare in. Dat ons hulle 'n kans gee en ons sê vir hulle, okay, dit is die gereg wat julle gaan maak.
Huh? Good idea, isn't it?
I like it.
Yep.
En dit want wie wat Kaufee, dit kan 'n ding, dit kan seasonal word later.
Ja.
En dan kan dit 'n annual kompetisie wees. Die
Yes.
InfoStream favorites cook-off competition.
There we have it.
Julle daar by die huis laat weet julle vir ons wat julle van so 'n kompetisie dink, sal julle graag wil deelneem en dan gaan ons met een of twee van ons mense gesels. Voordat ons vir die kombuis het ons hierdie pragtige reeks wat begin vandag. Kaufee,
Yeah,
vertel
it's
vir ons meer daarvan.
So we've got a series for you. This series is going to be streamed on a regular basis. As promised yesterday, we said that we're going to give you the first episode today. And then please remember the next episodes are then running on every Tuesday, Conservation Tuesdays. And this one from Namibia Wildlife Protection.
So hierdie episode is net Vrydag en dan die ander op Dinsdag.
Sal altyd
Ja.
will always be on
Ja,
Tuesdays.
dis
But
pragtige reeks oor omgewingbewaring, hierdie een spesiaal vir julle vir vandag.
Ja.
En dan onthou op Conservation Tuesdays gaan ons die res van die episode. Hoeveel episodes het ons?
I speak on correction, I think there are 8.
Uit 8 episodes wat gaan oor bewaring.
Good day and welcome to this first episode of Namibia Wildlife Protection series on following the tracks. And today we follow the white and black rhinos tracks. White and black rhinos are common features in Namibia, and we are the only country in the world that has still free roaming black rhinos. There are, however, vast differences between the black and the white rhino, and probably the most prominent one is the shape of the mouth. The white rhino's upper lip is square, while the black rhino has a hooked upper lip. And interesting enough, that is where the name white comes from, because in the beginning it was actually called the white rhino because of the wide mouth, and later it became white rhino, and then obviously the other one became the black rhino. The white rhino is much larger than the black rhino and is not that aggressive. Black rhinos are very aggressive, especially when you walk up to them in the veld. The other difference between the two is that the white rhino used to keep his head low down to the ground, while the black rhino keeps his head up. And the white rhino is also a grazer, eating grass, therefore the white upper lip. The black rhino is a browser on the other hand, and browsers eats leaves and twigs. Another interesting fact about the difference between the black and the white rhino is that the white rhino used to let his calf, the mother let the calf walk in front of her, while the black rhino's calf is always behind. The most obvious deduction that one can make from that is because the black rhino used to keep in thicker bush than the white rhinos. White rhinos prefer open grasslands and so forth, and the black rhino are very, very fond of thickets, thick bush areas, and maybe that's why they let the calf walk behind them, because the mother shows the way in these thicker bush areas. White rhino bulls have a way of marking their territory by dragging their hind feet and then normally urinating on that drag marks. Now that is something that you will always see where there's white rhinos in the area. You will see the bulls marking their territories, and they are very, very territorial. They also have a way of walking with their noses onto the ground, making like skid marks on the ground, dragging their noses on the ground while they walk, which is something that you obviously won't see with a black rhino. It is a common fact that rhinos are poached for their horns, and the rhino numbers came down in the past 50 years tremendously, in such a way that the black rhino is currently critically endangered. There's a tendency amongst rhino owners to dehorn them as a deterrent to poachers. And the interesting fact is that the rhino horn is like a nail, or actually like hair, and it grows back. So once you dehorn it, it grows back at more or less the rate of a kilogram of horn in 1 year. White rhino bulls, as well as the black rhino bulls, they use middens to deposit their dung. The females do not always use the middens, and interesting enough that the bulls normally kick open the dung on these middens. Many times you will find a female's dung in the veld, and it will still be intact, not being kicked open. Although there are cases where females also kick open the dung. Tracks of the white rhino are obviously bigger than those of the black rhino, and both rhinos have tracks with 3 toes and a very soft sole. And interesting enough, if you look at the sole closely, you will see the patterns. It's almost like a thumbprint, and you can use that to identify an individual rhino, although over time those patterns might change. It doesn't stay the same forever. Thank you for joining us for this episode, and be sure to tune in for the rest of the series. We are following the tracks of various wildlife and animals here in Namibia, and we look forward to talk to you again. Namibia Wildlife.
Daar is dit.
Interesting stuff, isn't it?
Ja.
Hey?
En dan die ander ding is hulle het daar's 'n volunteerskursus wat opkom.
Yes.
Nee, 21ste November.
Yeah, it starts on the 21st of November.
Yeah.
The Namibia Wildlife Protection Volunteers course starts on the 21st of November. So go to their websites on Facebook and also to their official websites and get all the details there.
Ons sal
get into touch with them
ons sal
if you are
dit weer
interested.
deel. Ja, definitief weer met julle deel. Maar hierdie is die begin van 'n reeks wat ons met julle gaan deel. Baie interessant, baie dankie vir die bydraes. Nick, baie duisende dankie op hierdie Vrydag dat jy met ons kom gesels. Het enigiets laaste gedagtetjie, laaste idee vir ons dan nog ons boodskapies kyk oor die gebruik van eiers en so meer in geregte. Hoe gesond is eier?
Eggs, well, too much eggs is not good for you.
Okay.
Everything in moderation in life.
Ja.
But just a final tip would be just don't be scared of it. Try it. Try different things.
You can't make it.
Experiment.
Yeah, you can't make an omelette without breaking a couple of eggs.
There you go.
Ja, dis nog 'n ding wat ek wil leer. Om 'n omelet te maak, myne,
Ja.
ek sien hoe maak hy ons die omelet in die pan as dit so mooi en dan sit hulle die ingredients en dan vou hulle hom so pragtig toe. Teen daai tyd het ek myne al begin eet want hy's in stukke. So daar moet ook 'n tegniek wees hoe om 'n mooi omelet te maak. Maar ons sal volgende keer met jou daaroor gesels.
Sounds good.
Nick, 'n baie mooi Vrydag vir jou en 'n sterkte
Thank
vir die
you for
naweek.
having us, Nick. This
Ja,
was
met
really
die
great.
aktiwiteite.
Fantastic.
Kaffie, kom ons check gou. Dit is ons klaar met boodskappe.
Yeah, messages coming through. Lizelle says it's a great idea.
competition.
She's referring to the competition,
Yeah.
so we will make some work of that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're just quickly having a look at the weather for the weekend.
Kom ons kyk,
The
ja.
weekend, the interior partly cloudy and warm to hot in the northeast and the Curragh region. Elsewhere, sunny and warm to hot. Windy weather will persist in the interior. The coast partly cloudy and mild with fog patches at first. Maximum temperatures for today. Well, I think we are already on those temperatures. Windhoek 31, Swakopmund 19 with Walvis Bay 22. Going to Katima Mulilo 34 with Okakarara 33, Ondangwa 36, Rehoboth 31 and Keetmanshoop at 29. And that's your weather.
Dat is baie lekker, lyk my dit word bietjie warmer. Onthou net ons WhatsApp nommer daar wat julle daar sien 081 432 8233. Ons volg dit. Kort as ek hier kyk na boodskapies. Ek wil net vinnig vir julle hierdie enetjie stuur wat ek gekry het van Maya Karstens. Baie dankie. Sy sê as ons wil praat oor gaming, regtig waar oor die sport van gaming en die ouens wat in Namibië betrokke is.
Sure.
Moet ons met 'n ou gesels met die naam van Flip de Bruin.
Aha.
Hy's van NESA en hy reël al die tournaments. Nou julle weet natuurlik dat ons praat altyd die Woensdae, praat ons van interessante stokperdjies, Nick, wat 'n besigheid geword het. Met ander woorde mense wat sê ag ek maak messe of ek maak 'n pyp of ek maak iets en dan die volgende oomblik as hulle weer kon kry dan begin die orders inkom.
Ja.
So dis ook 'n lekker ding en ek weet dat baie ouens kook en die volgende oomblik en ons het daai pragtige bydrae het ons hier gehad. Daai lekker koeke wat ons moet nog 'n resep kry.
Yes.
By ons pragtige dame wat ons maandag verras het.
Ja.
Met daai eclairs. So julle kan dit vir ons stuur. Ons gaan dit lees op die WhatsApp of julle kan julle kommentare lewer en dan gesels ons met julle. Om voor ons Kobai sien. Is daar ter afsluiting enige iemand
Tia
se
Skitte is die laaste ene. Sy sê lekker naweek vir julle and we are saying have yourself a fantastic week.
Ja, almal van julle.
Ja.
Chef Nick, gaan jy 'n bietjie motorfiets ry?
Ja.
Wat is hy? Biker, gesoute biker. Soos wie julle hom nou hierso sien, en julle sien hom op sy bike, 2 verskillende stories. Ja, dan gaan ons.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Ja, rustig veel en dankie julle gekyk het. Ons sien julle weer maandag. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Remember, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and you can also WhatsApp us. Please do us a favor and like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell icon, so you can get an update when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for now, hope to see you next time.